Hello, everybody, and welcome to Total Annihilation Replays. Today, I'm bringing you Game 9 of the Postal versus Aprox Best of 10. With the series all tied up at 4-4, Aprox has lost his chance to win on his little thread where he said that the best I would do was 3-7. And things are currently tied up, so at this point he needs to save face, so he has picked the next map, his final pick of the series, Core Prime Industrial Area. Now, I start this one thinking out, you know what? That's actually not too bad for me. It's better than a lot of other things. You could have picked Gods of War, which I wasn't particularly good at, and he obviously would have done well. And I'm like, I can build lots of stuff. And I had a decent build that I had learned ages ago. So I was like, okay, well, I know how to get big on this map, and I'd won games on it before. So I was thinking, okay, this might be a chance for me to take one off of him. What I didn't know is that Aprox and Tiptushi routinely played Core Prime Industrial games where they would play for 3.5 hours straight of these massive, absolutely massive battles where they would always stop every, I think Tiptushi said like every 45 minutes they would stop to do like a break where they would stand up and walk around and do something other than sit there and click, because the games were just so demanding. They had regular breaks set in for these 3.5 complete marathon games. So I say this might be a build order game 2, and that's referencing the previous Lava and Two Hills game, where I was just more aware of the map, and this is true. This, in fact, is a build order 1 here. You can see Aprox already on 4 solars, and he's got more mexes than me. His just build condition was a little bit better. He says it's less, but it is. So he's already ahead of me at this point. Now, one of the things to know is in OTAs, the core commander is slower than the arm one. So he will move from place to place a little faster. So I go ahead and I drop the speed, and actually we'll speed things up a little bit for ourselves. I ask him to, he puts it back up, and I say, come on, I can barely keep up with just my comm. I'm not the fastest clicker. So here we go. I did 5 solars, 4 mex. I'm moving to my vehicle lab. He's doing 5 solars. He's got 8 mex already, so he is really maxing out on metal at this point. So, and like I said, knowing what I know about the fact that he's played this with Tiptushi a gazillion times, I think you can trust that his build order here is a little more solid for OTA than mine. Now, build power is a huge thing on metal maps, so my goal is to get as many construction units out as fast as possible. See, I quickly, while that was moving out of the lab, I used my commander to throw down the radar and another mechs. And so the con is done. My commander is building another mechs. This way, even in the time that it takes for my vehicles to move out of the lab, I'm busy. I'm keeping them busy. So this guy goes out. I hook a bunch of solars, and this con is going out, and he's going to build a bunch of metal extractors. And I just kind of alternate back and forth. You can see what Aprox has done, though. I've got more cons out than he does, so therefore more build power. But he's got 2 labs up. Yeah, Aprox says I can keep up with the clicking even at +10, and I say I can't, and part of it is the fact that my mind is slow as well. So 4 cons now to Aprox's 1, and his comm is just hosing out a ton of energy. I've got 5 construction units now. Now he has this, he has 2, and he's got this one building that. He's also starting his K-Bot lab. As an ARM player, he's going to want Farks, and he's going to want them fast, because that's going to be the best way for him to upgrade his build power, particularly for Hawks, which is something that you just, in OTA on this map, you got to get him as fast as possible. I know that I need to get Vamps and Flak up and be ready to defend it. You'll see kind of what I do in anticipation of this, but I just don't make. I mean, I don't want to spoil the outcome here. So at this point, though, I'm still thinking, okay, I've got a chance. Not seen anything crazy. I'm actually outproducing him at this point, but he is ahead of me because, remember, he started with more mexes. He actually hasn't even built any other mexes until now, where he's finally got his cons on it. So you'll see he had more in the bank. He had more production going, and I now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 construction vehicles. 7, 8, 9 if you include the K-bots. They're not quite as powerful. So you can see in just building these extra labs, he's already starting to catch me in build power because I'm simply going off of one vehicle plant at this point, building nothing but construction vehicles. So I get some scouts out. The reason why I'm doing that is because I am anticipating that he's going to try and lift his comm to here or over here. I'm aware that a lot of people do this, and I've seen a handful of the games from Tiptushi and Aprox that they played on this. That's something very common that they did. Aprox was thinking that he was top, but as it turns out, he's bottom. He's already got his advanced up. You can see I'm starting on mine when you're playing core. If you want to mass produce air, which is something I want to do here, you got to use advanced construction vehicles because of the advanced K-bot bug and the fact that Necros don't work properly for assisting. So you see the unit that I'm building to attack with is just a slasher. And I will only be building units that are anti-air. My goal here is to put pressure on him with anti-air units, so he has to bring his Hawks in to try and destroy them, meaning he says, "Are you ready for some flashes?" I say no, and I say wait a bit longer. And that's part of the reason why I have these scouts out too. I want to be able to see massive incoming flash parties before they get here. But yeah, so my goal is to put pressure on him with the slashers to get him to use his Hawks on the slashers, which I don't really care about, to buy myself more time. Aprox says no, and I say no a bit more, again, about the flashes, with the irony being he hasn't built a single flash. Just going flashes early and sending them, this map is just too big, having to go around the lake. You put yourself too far behind in the build power race. Also, I want to stack some shadows right here. If I can find his commander and drop some bombs on its head, that would be a nice win steal for me. And that's one of the reasons why, again, like I said, I was happy that he picked this map over some alternatives. The other thing I'm doing is I'm flying cons to take positions so I can get little fire bases set up all over the map. Again, giving him something to do. I've got Avengers, again, because I'm expecting him to be flying cons or his comm around, and I want to be able to snipe it out of the sky if I can. Now, the thing that I should be doing, though, is I should be taking one of those peepers and flying it over his head. You can see all the Farks that he's got out. He is now has greater build power than I do, and he's got more resources coming, too. Building advanced vehicle there. I've got mine, and I brought my commander up here to focus on getting the advanced construction vehicles out. Again, building a lot of these, kind of like how he's hosing out Farks with his Farks. I need advanced construction vehicles so that I can build my stuff. So I'm working on my first fusion there. He's just staying all solar. And I'm actually having a little trouble spending all of my metal. So I'm at 141, but my metal bar is full, where he's at 190. Part of it is I am taking this time and flying these guys down here, building a lot more. So again, see the slasher ball is just getting kind of big. Again, the reason why I'm not sending these right now is I'm anticipating that there's flashes coming, but they haven't come yet. But here you go, you can see he's building his first ones. Kind of doing the same thing I am, putting these factories right out front and having them crank out units. I'm putting radars up. I want to be able to see when the attack is coming and where from. I want to be ready to defend against it. First thing I'm doing here is just dropping that fusion. You can see he now is getting a bunch of air up. He's working on his air cons, and he's getting his first advanced aircraft plane up. So he is going to have Hawks at this point, and I don't have any air defense back here. He's got a handful of immolators in case Farks show up. I am building shadows, and as you can see, I'm stacking them here. But I don't have all my air defenses right up here. I don't really have any in my base either. So 12 minutes into the game at this point, so it's not too late. Here come the Dirty Birds, getting ready to fly on the Hawk racetrack of CPIA. Here go the flashes. You can see in putting this down here, I'm kind of out of the way. I'm building more construction units. And I start to send my horde of slashers in. There I'm flying at advanced con. I fly it over the flashes. I don't really do anything about it. First fusion's done, and now I'm starting to work on mohos. Yeah, not very many shots fired, just building, but he is 10,000 metal up on me at this point. And I'm now, yeah, I'm fully spending everything. I've got these turned off, which really doesn't make much sense. Should just be cranking out more anti-air units. Mobile flak. But that's hindsight, and this game was played in 2008, so a really long time ago. Finally gotten ahead of him here with the first moho coming online. They make a ton of metal on this one, I believe 20, 23, 24? Or no, 27. I don't know. I'll have to look that up later. He's doing his own sending of his... Okay, so you can see what I did there is I actually Control-Z'd to pull these slashers over. But I don't quite get there on time. And these flashes are going to make it into the back line. Very, very, very tragic. Right as I'm starting up my my vamp production. I catch his cons out here, and I manage to take those out. We'll go ahead and slow things down here as the game picks up. He doesn't send these any further, so I've got 5 slashers on 2 flashes. So I feel like I've lucked out at this point, but now 1, 2, 3, 4 fully FARC guarded hawk plants. He already has a swarm of dirty birds. You can see I have got 5. No, sorry, I can't count. I have 3. Commander's sitting out here not doing anything, cranking out advanced construction vehicles that are all sitting there idle because that is what I do as I'm busy manipulating slashers. You can see he's using the air cons here to fast build some stuff. I've got a ton of metal now, but I'm not using it. I'm setting the slashers in, ready to do a little attacking. Again, my goal with the slashers, I don't really plan on killing anything, but what I do plan on doing is drawing his hawks out and getting them to shoot at something that is not my resources, my base, my factories. And that's what I want to do with them. So, continuing to stack. My commander's just sitting there idle. Terrible play there. And I think what I'm doing here is I'm busy working on this little force down here. Not a good use of my time. Really, these factories, they get done, you get your build order, and you have them march into the enemy base, and you forget they exist. Because you need to be back here focusing on the more important things like getting the hawk production up and running. Vamp production. See, he's got a ton already. Maybe 20 at this point. I see this is a good thing. I'm doing a little overwhelming on the right side. Hoping that now I can draw the ire of his hawks. And they come in. So I'm like, okay, this is good news. He's using his hawks to defend against slashers. And I've got more forces here. And I've got another fire base up here. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm in a good position. I got fire bases all over the place. My resources are cranking up in the back. You can see I'm kind of keeping pace with them at this point. Got 2 advanced air factories up. I know I'm going to be behind him on Vamps. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 now advanced air factories. He's building his advanced vehicles down here to work on mohos. So at this point, metal is really not the issue. It's just build power and time and attention. So these guys need to be moving in. So this is me critiquing, from what is it, 16 years ago. I get these slashers headed in. They're gonna run into these flashes. It doesn't bother me. I'm not really gonna pay too much attention to that. You can see this is just getting all of that metal build. That's what I'm doing. Line building there. Commander's sitting here blinking on and off. Not doing anything. So cloaking him is the right call. But in come the dirty birds. And look at my amazing anti-air. I have nothing. I've got a dozen vamps, and he has 30 or something hawks. So slashers chew these guys up. Not a problem there. He brings in more. He's collecting them. Again, just tons of anti-air right there. Start to pull the flak in the back. Line building some missile towers around the base. That's something that you got to do on this too. I mean, a combination of missile towers and flak is how you really control the Hawks. So you look at this, it's like, oh, I'm doing great, right? I've got him bottled up in a corner, but here come the dirty birds on the north side. Flying in, I have a handful of missile towers right here and right here. I just get my anti-nuke out, but it's not a nuke that I need to be worried about. I fly in my own vamps, and my commander comes uncloaked. He spies the commander. He starts shooting at me. I start running. He nails me. Nails the fusion. I say bleh. They bunch up. That's a shot right there for me, but my vamps were out of position, cloaking in and out. But I go down to the Hawks now. I said the bugger came undone. Basically, he came uncloaked when the Hawks flew over, because I didn't really have enough energy. So that's it. The game that was shaping up to be a epic battle ends suddenly when Aprox finds my commander and ends it. So the series is now at 4-5 to the Dutch, and Aprox, to avoid the draw, which is what he's trying to do at this point, he needs to, let's see if this works here. Yep, there we go. And to avoid the draw, he needs to actually win on the final map. Now, I have one ace up my sleeve, and that is a map at this point that I have never lost on. So, moving into well, let's see. Ever since I discovered the strategy, I hadn't lost on it. So I had an undefeated streak on this map to the tune of more than dozens of games going in here. And it's not the past, because we've already done that one. So my goal here, I just got to win one more game, and I get it locked up at 5-5. And we both get to walk away from this, neither having claimed victory. So, but if he is able to pull the upset on my pick, then he will be the winner and win the series 6-4. So hopefully I'll get that one to you guys soon. Thanks for joining me here today, and I will see you all. I will see you all around next time. Take care, everybody. Bye bye now.